guys, it's Kara here, and it's been a while since I've done an informational video. As you guys know, I am a registered dietitian, so I want to start doing more topics just to be more informative and give you guys hopefully some good information based on the research that I've read or learned about in school. So if you guys have topics in mind you'd like to know more about, please comment below and let me know. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, that is caffeine. Which I think is probably some of your favorite topics as well, because caffeine is known to be very popular. Pretty much half of Americans start their day with some type of caffeine, so I know I'm not alone in this boat. So I thought this would be a good topic to talk about today, and especially with how it relates to exercise and being an athlete. So there is a lot of research out there, some of it being conflicting. You hear good and bad stuff about caffeine with the different research articles out there. But really a lot of it is good. Caffeine can actually be very beneficial, especially for those of you guys that are athletes. So wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit more today. Caffeine is a stimulant, so what that does is it actually stimulates your central nervous system and really can do a couple different things for you during exercise. What it can do is actually help decrease your pain threshold for pain, which for those of you badasses out there that watch my channel and are like me in the gym, when you lift hard and train heavy and like to focus more on lifting, caffeine can be very beneficial. It can be very helpful if it feels like things don't hurt as much, or if it feels like you can tolerate more in terms of, when I say pain threshold, don't let me confuse you by saying you should work through something that hurts or causes you pain. More so what I'm saying is it allows you to, basically be more badass, to sum it up. If I feel like 40 pounds is heavy, but maybe I have a little coffee, I might be able to lift 50 pounds and it feels like good, and I can kind of work through it a little bit more. So caffeine can really help you push through that pain threshold, so that can be huge. That's kind of a mouthful, you guys. And when I say caffeine, let's talk real quick about what caffeine sources are, because I mentioned coffee, but it's not just coffee. You guys have probably seen my multiple reviews I've done on pre-workouts. So take a look at what pre-workouts you're taking. Make sure if it's listed, you know what caffeine content is in there, how many milligrams of caffeine are in there. The other thing you need to be careful with as well are fat burners. So fat burners, again, a lot of times the process through which they work is through caffeine and stimulating you and decreasing appetite. So just kind of be aware, if you take anything from this video, be aware of what caffeine sources you are taking in, and just kind of be mindful of the amount. Because one of the things I will caution you with is if you overstimulate your body too much, too often, at some point you may find yourself feeling very fatigued. Caffeine being a stimulant, you adapt to it. Your sensitivity changes as you continue to increase caffeine. So someone that never consumes any caffeine versus someone like myself who's been having caffeine since I was in college, my caffeine sensitivity is much different. So just be mindful of what caffeine sources you're taking in and how much. Because although, like I mentioned, there's a lot of good benefits in terms of being an athlete, you also need to be careful of not overdoing it. So like us dietitians always say, moderation is key, and again, that comes into play with caffeine and how much you're doing. Whether you're taking pre-workouts or just drinking coffee, it's still good to give yourself a break if you can, if you're able to. I know a lot of people can't function not having any caffeine, but if you're able to, even give yourself a week off, 2 weeks off to help give your system, your central nervous system, that time off, it can help, to prevent that chronic fatigue that can be a big concern. But in terms of benefits, let's go back to those because that's the good stuff. For athletes, a lot of research has supported that it can help with weight loss. So whether you're an athlete or someone who's found your way to my channel just because you're looking to help change your lifestyle and to maybe lose a few pounds, caffeine can actually be very helpful in terms of weight loss. A lot of the studies support that if you have some type of caffeine prior to working out, it actually increases the amount of calories you're burning, not only during the workout, but 3 hours post-workout. So compared to someone who doesn't have any caffeine, you're likely going to be burning more calories during your workout and post-workout for up to 3 hours. So that's huge. It's all about burning those calories, energy in versus energy out, which can be a tough balance. So any added benefit is nice. So I think that's huge. That on top of the fact that, like I said, with caffeine, it's going to help you feel like you can lift heavier and push harder in the gym. So that's crucial. Some other studies even show caffeine can help your memory, which I haven't seen that yet. I have a terrible memory for being my age, but studies do support that it can help with your memory. So in terms of aging, that's not a bad advantage to have in terms of your memory. Another added benefit, especially for those athletes, are muscle preservation. So adding some caffeine in, not only pre, but they say post-workout, can actually help preserve your muscle and your muscle glycogen. Your glycogen is the fuel, the carbohydrate that's stored within the muscle, which during workouts you can break down and utilize. If you have a little caffeine post-workout in combination with some carbohydrates, you can actually help increase your muscle glycogen by up to 60%. So that's huge, because as athletes, most of us are trying to, not all of us, but many of us are trying to gain muscle. We're trying to preserve the muscle mass that we have. So caffeine can actually help maintain that muscle mass, which I will take what I can get, to help maintain my muscle. So that's a huge benefit. One other great benefit about caffeine as well, which many of us don't think about, maybe some of those younger people too, just like with memory, another benefit is increased blood circulation throughout your body. So caffeine can actually help circulate oxygen through your body, which is huge, because if you don't have good circulating oxygen through your body, that can easily lead you to feeling fatigued and not as strong, not as focused. So caffeine helps in multiple ways. The one thing I want to caution you guys with, like I alluded to before, is just make sure you're not overdoing it. A lot of people think, if something's good for you, have lots of it. And that's not the case. Anything, anything can be not good in large quantities. So make sure you're moderating how much you're consuming. And again, be careful with your sleep, you guys, because sleep is super important. A lot of people don't value how much sleeping at night can really benefit you in terms of an athlete, in terms of being an athlete, in terms of your energy levels, in terms of your muscle mass. It's huge. So make sure you're not drinking caffeine or consuming caffeine to the point that it's affecting you at nighttime. Caffeine does spike in your bloodstream, typically within an hour or two of consuming it, but it does stay within your bloodstream for up to 7 hours. So depending on what time you like to go to sleep at night, be careful with consuming caffeine later in the day. I never take a pre-workout before I train at nighttime, and I train a lot after work, so I typically just don't take a pre-workout because I know there's no way in hell I'll be going to sleep. So just think about that and remember that even a small cup of coffee, even popping your fat burner at 5 p.m., that stuff's going to be circulating. Like I said, it circulates and helps improve blood flow, but that's going to be circulating in your body for up to 7 hours. So if at 10 o'clock at night you're sitting on the couch with your eyes bugging out of your head, think about what caffeine you had during the day. So use your caffeine smart. It can help you quite a bit as an athlete. I am an advocate for using some caffeine in the diet, but again, keep it in moderation. Be mindful of what sources you're consuming and what time of day that you're consuming them, in an effort to not impact your sleep, because sleep is huge too. So I'm gonna go drink myself a Diet Mountain Dew right now. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and please let me know what other videos you'd like to see. Hey guys, it's Kara here with another bikini update for you. So I decided to pose today a little bit wearing my Get Fit hat because I figured I couldn't decide bangs or no bangs, so maybe I'll just wear a hat. That might help me stand out on stage, right? Anyway, so